Living in America right now feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury, rent is robbery, healthcare is a joke, and somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2, 3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick. You can't afford to rest. You can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy is strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians trade stocks, and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity, we got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a 1-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough when the truth is the math just stopped adding up years ago. They told us to work harder but never told us they'd change the finish line. This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones. Simple as that.
Yo, do y'all really think it's normal to be paying $2,500 a month plus for rent? Is that normal? Do you think it's normal to pay $300, $400, $500 on a car note? $100 on your phone bill, $150 on electricity? Like, that's not normal, yo. Do you know what you could do with that type of money in different places? The reason these prices are so high is because they know they can take advantage of us. It's that simple. And they know we're going to keep paying. I feel like we don't have the discipline to force these people's hand. Like, these prices are out of control. Like, it shouldn't be this expensive for literally basic necessities. Just because we are the richest country in the world and have the highest GDP doesn't mean we should be taken advantage of and squeezed for like every dime we got. That makes no sense to me. You know, things should cost what they cost. And a lot of that is, you know, the market, and, you know, we determine the market. So I believe we got to do better, man. It's only going to get worse, you know, the more we put up with and accept, you know, them hiking up these prices, because these companies just want to make money. Like, that's all they in it for, you know. So they'd be like, oh, all right, if something costs $50 and they, you know, take it up to 60 and we still buying, they're like, all right, bet, let's take it up to 70. They'll take it up until we do something about it. And that's their strategy. Like, don't fall for it, man. Just pay them money for what things are really worth. And if you can't find a reasonable price, don't buy it. Don't buy it. If most people did that, the economy would be a ton better.
Here's the real question. If millions of families are going into debt just to eat, what does that say about the true health of the U.S. economy? A new survey shows that about a quarter of Americans are using buy now, pay later apps like Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay just to buy groceries. We are not talking about sneakers and vacations. We're talking about milk, eggs, and pasta on a payment plan. And that number is climbing fast, which means more and more people literally can't afford food up front anymore. Let's be honest. Wall Street might look fine, but Main Street is starving. Call me crazy, but I would love to live in a society where moms don't have to worry about feeding their children, where dads don't have to work 10 jobs to make sure that Eggos can go in the toaster in the morning. That would be my ideal society, but I know, I'm a little crazy.
I am 48 years old and I am broke. When I say broke, I mean $0 broke, no money. And I am burnt out to the core, and I'm done living like this. I have worked in group homes and nonprofits for over 25 years now. I've poured my heart into my job, gave it everything I got, but I'm burnt out. I don't have any more to give. Between rising costs, bills, broken appliances, I hit my breaking point. I knew I had to try something different. If you're at your breaking point, comment enough. See you later.
I don't know who's out here living the American dream, but I can tell you one person who isn't, and that's me. I have 4 kids and I'm working 3 jobs and I'm still struggling. My full-time job, I'm a 911 dispatcher. My other 2 jobs, a waitress. The American dream should not be this hard. I should not have to be working my life away, being away from my kids. You know, sometimes I have to pick. Am I going to pay my electric bill? Or am I going to buy groceries? Because my kids need to eat. This is not the American dream. I'm so tired of struggling. You know, so many people are going to work, working multiple jobs just to pay for a house to sleep in, just to put their head down at night. This is not the American dream, not my American dream. That's why I started posting here on TikTok. So hopefully I can slow down some so I can spend time with my kids. Life shouldn't be this hard. I know one person that's making 6 figures and they're still struggling. Why's it gotta be so hard? Anyways, if you want to help this mama out from struggling, you know what to do. I'm headed into work to work at Buffalo Wild Wings today. I have to work a double. Say a prayer, I make some money.
65% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 65% of Americans do not even have $1,000 for an emergency fund. More than that are 2 paychecks away from homelessness. The states struggling right now the most, the people in the states, the top 2 are both red states. Number 1 is Texas. The people there are struggling financially. The second state is Florida, another red state. The people are struggling. What do you think is going to happen when they lose their job in a couple weeks? They can't afford groceries. They can't pay their car payment. They can't pay their light bill. They're going to be up in arms. You and I know, because we're smart, know that it's going to be the regular average Joe that is going to be screaming in the streets, screaming because of our government. Just remember, Republicans did that. Trump supporters did that.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't, because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription. Everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money, and yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me, and they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes, and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC, not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor, and I have been extremely wealthy. And I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
Thanks for clicking to watch today's video. And so across America, so many people are crying because they are living paycheck to paycheck. Others are working 2 to 3 jobs in order to survive. The situation is dire. People are really struggling to survive, even to put food on the table. And so it is so sad to listen to people, even the single mothers. So many people are struggling. And so I have made a compilation for you to watch. Kindly, we do not own the rights of this video. They belong to the original owners of the video. So let's dive in.
Straight up too expensive to live in the United States of America, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Hi, I'm Zach. I've kept a budget down to the penny for the past 5 years. And this is what I've spent this month on some of the things that you need to just exist. Let's start with energy. I want you to let me know how much you pay a month for your electric bill. All right, ready? Drum roll, please. This month I spent $242. It's summertime in Florida. It's hot. It's expensive. The AC's running. I keep my house at 78 degrees during the day. I turn off all the lights when I'm not using them. I have LED lights. All of the stuff you're supposed to do. I'm closing my blinds during the day. Everything possibly you could do right. And I just had my highest bill of all time. Checking out my electric bill from September 2020, I paid $139.47. Huh. Okay, so that's almost doubled. All right, how about utilities? I want you to let me know how much you pay for utilities a month, your water bill, your garbage. All right, drum roll please, 3, 2, 1. I paid $219.77. Just as a frame of reference, in September of 2020, my water bill was $128.09. So that's doubled in 5 years. That's cool. Internet. Everybody loves internet. I needed to post on TikTok. This past month, I spent $84.99. What did you spend this month on internet? I can tell you what I paid in September 2020, 5 years ago. I paid $54.68. That's cool. It's gone up 60%-ish in 5 years. That's fine. So all in all, between my utilities, my energy, and my internet, I am paying $527 and change a month. And I'm sure my story isn't unique. I'm sure you're watching this saying, yes, the same thing with me. I'm paying way too much every month. This isn't sustainable. I know that prices have gone up all around the world, 100%. I just feel like where I live specifically, we've gone into crazy town. No one can pay this. No one can afford this. I'd love to hear what you're paying a month for all these things and where you live in the world, because I need to know if I'm crazy or if I'm not alone in feeling this way.
Many of us here in the US are waking up this morning to our investments and stocks plummeting. I know I made the mistake of checking my account. Trump's tariffs have had a huge impact on the economy and will continue to do so. You know it's a bad sign when his former vice president, Mike Pence, is speaking out directly against these tariffs and warning that the average American will be losing $3,500 this year as a result of the tariffs. Do you know how many people voted for this administration without even understanding what a tariff is? But do you know who did explain it and did warn over and over? Kamala Harris. She spoke out directly against what is happening now. And yet, here we are.
Living in America in 2025 feels like you're trying to breathe while someone's hand is over your mouth. And they're charging you rent for it. As soon as you get paid, it's gone. You buy groceries and the bags are lighter. You fill your tank and the needle mocks you. Food's up, rent's up, insurance, utilities, coffee. I mean, even your damn toothpaste is up. Everything's up. Except the paycheck. Oh, and everything's also smaller. Shrinkflation? Yeah, that's the way they rob you while smiling in your face. You're not imagining it. The box is smaller. The portions are skimpier. The price is higher, and you're supposed to eat it with a smile. This isn't bad budgeting. This isn't laziness. This is a rigged game where everyone at the top profits and everyone at the bottom is a slave. We're getting taxed, drained, and blamed every step of the way. If you feel it too, you're not crazy. You're just living in America in 2025. And it's fucking brutal.
Why can't we get by in this country anymore just working one fucking job? Like our parents and grandparents did. But when did survival become a group project? Everybody's so quick to yell, just work harder, grind more, pick a side hustle. But the real question is, why the hell should we have to? Why is one full-time job no longer enough to afford food, rent, and peace of mind? Why are we working 50, 60 hours a week away from our families and, still checking our bank apps like we committed a crime? Why is owning a home now treated like some luxury fantasy instead of the bare minimum of our parents achieved with a high school diploma and a single paycheck? Why are people forced to DoorDash after 10-hour shifts just to afford eggs, gas, and maybe prescription medicine, maybe even diapers? Why do people celebrate people working for themselves into exhaustion but shame them for admitting they're struggling? Why do we keep pretending this is normal? You shouldn't need a second job to just keep your head above water. You shouldn't have to burn out just to barely get by. Why is everything rising except our wages? This isn't laziness. This isn't lack of ambition. I mean, this is like a system designed to drain you and convince you that it's your fault. I mean, it's not your fault. You're not behind. We're being buried alive and then told to be grateful for the dirt.
I am seriously starting to feel like it's just about impossible to live in the United States. And, I don't want to seem like a lazy bum when I seen this, but I truly feel like it's just about impossible. If you weren't raised and given a good first hand in life, or a support team who will make sure no matter what that you don't fail, or, having people that you're able to fall back on, you're blessed. And if you are one of those people, I highly suggest you thank those people near you, because a lot of us aren't blessed like that. I'm a 23-year-old dad. I've got 2 kids. I've got about to be a 5-year-old in May, and I've got a newborn too. She's just a few weeks old, like 3 weeks. So my wife gets to stay at home and take care of the babies, and I'm out here trying to get it. I'm on my 3rd shift job now. I'm a security officer for Allied Universal. No, I don't represent the company in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This is just a job. I am not a part of this company. But, and I work here from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. every single day, 8-hour shift. I get off of this 3rd shift job and I go directly into another job, which I just go around my city finding side jobs. It might be a clean out one day and I go out there for another 5, 6, 7 hours. It might be landscaping another day. It might be painting one day. It could be, it varies. I do what I can where I can. But therein, I go home and I have to stay up even longer to make sure that my lady is able to get her rest too, because, being a mom's a hard job. Yes, I'm working hard, but being a mom is a hard mental job as well in its own. So I have to stay up for a little bit in order to give her time to actually rest and get her sleep too, because she needs it. But I say that to say all this, having people to fall back on. Let's say you're going down the road and, like my case, my heater core blows up. I don't have no one I can call to say, hey, can I borrow $400 so I can get my heater core replaced? Or, you got $400 so I can get new tires on my vehicle. That is just something you have to figure out on your own. And if somebody with terrible credit, you can't just go get a loan for these things. The only loan you could get is a title loan. And in a lot of states, title loans are illegal for a reason. I'm stuck in this title loan, having to pay them back $4,300, but I have to pay $700 a month just to drive. That doesn't go toward my principal, on top of having to pay my rent and all the other bills just to survive. It's impossible. I would never hurt or harm myself in any way, but sometimes I just wonder why. Why am I here? There's got to be a reason why, life is so hard for me. What if it's not meant for me? This shit drives a lot of people to anger, man, and I understand. I truly do. People say maybe these next 4 years. No, this is literally impossible. There is nothing no president is able to do to save people from what we are having to go through. Housing at an all-time high. You could go to another country and you can have the same homes here for 1/10 of the price that we're paying per month. Food the same exact way. And I just feel like it's impossible. If I was a drug addict, if I was a piece of shit dad, I could have so much more help. But with me out here trying to do everything the right way, and nothing's working, nothing's helping. Life absolutely sucks right now. It truly, truly sucks. And there's no way to get out of it than to continue to dig myself into working and trying to come up out of this hole that seems impossible to come out of. Sorry for the rant. I'm not usually the ranting type. I'm just tired. I'm sick and fucking tired of having to live the way that we have to live just to survive, because it's nonsense. It truly is. I try my absolute hardest and I'm not getting anywhere. A lot of you are able to fall back on TikTok. I can't fall back on TikTok. Every time I try to get a video to blow up, it never does, and I'm not going against any standards. There's people doing way worse shit than me, and they're getting way more views and everything, but yet whenever I want views, I have to pay for them. Not me. I don't have that extra funding. And then you pay for it, and then there's no guarantee that you have those same people coming right back. You pay for the views, and then afterwards you're back in a 200 view jail. And that's it. TikTok's fucking stupid when it comes to income too. I don't know. I wish I can catch that big break. I wish I could get back to a life of, damn, we've paid our rent, power, water, Wi-Fi, and insurance. That's our bills for the month, and we can afford that. Talking about saving money and being able to invest in land and a whole bunch of other stuff, it seems impossible. So, if you have that support team and you have a whole group of people that are there for you to make sure that you don't fall, be thankful for them, because there's a lot of us up here that one slip, one fuck up, one missed day out of work will cause us to lose our home, our vehicle, and to end up being on the streets. DSS is no help. CPS is no help. They won't help you until you're actually living on the streets. And once you are, they take your kids because you're an unfit parent. There's no help. You can't call these resource centers and everything like that. You can't depend on food banks for food because a lot of these food banks give you rotten meats and shit. It's just hard. It's just hard. Y'all let me know if y'all go through the same things on a daily basis, or am I just an irresponsible piece of shit? Because I don't feel like I am.
You've heard from the majority that even after living from paycheck to paycheck, doing multiple jobs, they can't even survive. And the saddest part is that working those 3 jobs or even more is making them even lose that family thing, because they are staying away from their children, so they can't have time for their children, which is really sad in the upbringing of their families. And so it is becoming the saddest reality and the new norm to the Americans, because some are even trying to, cut some things. And it's not about luxury, because some are saying that they no longer go to vacations. They no longer even buy the things that they can call luxury. It's only the basic commodities that they require for their survival, which is food. And that even is not enough for them. Can you imagine? It's so sad to listen to the way people are struggling to survive in the United States of America. Let's continue to listen in.
You know what? I don't know if we're being scammed in this country. I really don't know. Why is it that you can buy a home that costs about $400,000, $300,000, and $500,000, millions of dollars, right? But you do not own the land. Once you pay off that mortgage, like you pay off the entire home, right? You still have to pay taxes for the rest of your life. I don't understand that. This country, it's like they're scamming us. It's like they're scamming us. They make it so impossible for you to be free. I mean, it's the truth. Like, you can never be free, never be financially free, and definitely you're never free as a person living in this country. You pay up $300,000 and you still don't own the land? That's some bullshit. Let's be honest. Like, America, like we all slaves here. Let's be honest. It doesn't matter who you are. You're a slave.
This isn't me trying to fearmonger. This is just me trying to prepare you. The U.S. economy right now is like a Jenga tower with 18 fucking pieces missing. We are one piece pulled out away from everything just toppling down. AI was responsible for 40% of U.S. GDP growth this past year and 80% of U.S. stock growth. And the manufacturing industry has contracted for 7 consecutive months, while every other economic indicator is saying this is as bad as things have been since 2009. Now, when you have a sentence that says the economy is as bad as it's been since 2009, you are fucked. So again, this is not me fear-mongering. This is just me preparing you. Our economy is in a very bad place. If you have a job, hold on to it with everything you have.
Just thinking this morning about our country and late stage capitalism and cost of living and how much money everyone has to make to even afford to have a family these days. And it's what, like $250,000 minimum? Yeah, John and I have 2 kids and we don't make close to that. Not even close. Try like at least $100,000 less than that. So we're barely making it, and we have 2 good high-paying jobs as an electrical engineer and a nurse. Now, everyone always says, like, they make so much money, you guys should be doing so much better. They don't make that much money, okay? And the fact that the wages haven't gone up with inflation means we've been getting pay cuts basically the last 4 years. So we're not doing okay. Nobody's doing okay in this economy. this is what we're so upset about. And then you add in authoritarianism and fascism on top of that. Like, what kind of country are we leaving for our kids where we teach them it's okay that they go to school and then their friends are missing the next day because they were rounded up by ICE? This is not an okay world. This is what I don't want to leave my kids. This is what I want to protect them from. This is one of the reasons why we're moving to Europe. I'm tired of it. I haven't even touched on healthcare. That's a whole other story that we spent over $10,000 a year on for the last 4 years. Childcare, $24,000 a year. Just so that I can go to work and not spend time with my kids. It's fucking insane. How does anybody live in this world? Like, how does anybody make that $250,000 every single year to just, like, be okay? I don't know anyone else except for, like, doctors who are doing fine. What are we going towards? What is the end goal here? Like, is anybody else as upset as I am seeing everything that's going on? I mean, I'm just ranting this morning. Sometimes I'm just getting in my thoughts and my feels, and I can't believe that this is the reality that we're living in right now.
Come on, New York State, get your shit together. Why the fuck's gas so expensive? I'll show you what I'm paying here if people don't believe me. Can you see that? $3.05. $3.05 for gas. Why are we still paying $3.05 for gas? It should be like $1.99 a gallon. At $3.05, I think it's something to do with the New York State gas taxes, or it's probably Hochul's fault, but whatever it is, the price is way too freaking expensive. Nobody should have to pay over $3 a gallon for gas. They're claiming now that the eggs have dropped too, but I'm going to have to get to the store and see if that's true or not, because last time I was to buy eggs, I think it cost me like $4 a dozen. Hopefully things are turning around. Hopefully things are going to get cheaper soon, but I'm still not happy with these fucking gas prices. And I think New York State has a lot to do with it. Mainly our governor, rip off taxes. It's pathetic.
Is anyone else completely sick and tired of living in America where you're expected to work your entire life? Like, we are not here to work. Our jobs are not our lives. Our jobs are not our purpose. Like, everyone asks me, like, what's your job? What are you doing with your life? Like, I'm just trying to save enough and get passive income so I can go travel the world and start my life. Like, everyone thinks their purpose is to work. Like, you get done with high school, then you go to college for 4 years, then you're $30,000 in debt, and then you're trying to find a job just so you can pay off that debt over the next 3 years. And then what? Then you're making enough money just to pay your mortgage and afford groceries and then pay for kids. And then before you know it, you're 60 and you're retiring and your body hurts because of your job and you didn't do anything that you wanted to do. And that's our life. That's what you're expected to do. And if you break out of that, then people are going to judge you and think you're weird or you're crazy or you're a hippie. I'm so sick of it. America needs to make a change. Something needs to change because people are not happy here. People are not living their dreams. People are not living their life. They are working. They think that their work is their life. It is not that way.
Okay, I just want to be real for a second. Why are we being priced out of groceries? Why did it cost me $1,000 last month to feed my 4 kids? At this point, I don't even eat. I just have enough food to feed my kids. Is this the plan? Is this the goal? In what world is this okay? Pricing the American people out of being able to buy groceries for their family. I mean, what happens next? This is sick. I don't get it. What's the end goal? We starve?
The American dream is no longer there, as many suggest, because life right now is so unbearable. When you can't afford groceries, you can't afford even to pay rent, you can't afford luxury or anything. It's so sad to listen to those stories. And that's why I'm asking you today, how are you surviving at this moment when the life is too too hard in the United States of America? Kindly comment down there below and tell me how you're surviving, whether you are working 2-3 jobs to survive, or what are you doing in order for you to survive in United States of America. I'd love to read your comments, so kindly comment, share, subscribe to our channel, and also like our video. Thank you so much for watching our video today.